Hey guys! So it's that time of year again to do another monthly wrap-up video where I conclude the books I read in that specific month. So now that July is over and it is now August, I'm going to be talking about the books I read in July. So during the month of July, I didn't read that many books. I only read 4, and that's mainly because I went on vacation for a little over a week, and during that time, I didn't even read once. So that put a huge dent in my total for July. But the books I did read are awesome and I'm very excited to talk about them. For most of the books I did a review which I have already posted, so I'm going to link those somewhere in the video when I talk about that book so you guys can click on it and learn more about the book in more details, how I liked it, why I loved them, and that sort of thing. So without further ado, I'm going to get started with this video and talk about the awesome books I read in July. Alright guys, so the first book I read in July was Bloodrose by Andrea Cremer, and this is the third and final book in the Nightshade trilogy. So in this trilogy we follow a main character named Kala, who is no normal teenage girl because she is a shapeshifter who is actually the leader of her pack. So being a shapeshifter has its requirements, and since she is the leader of her pack, she also has all these responsibilities, and those responsibilities become a conflict and a problem for her once she is kind of a part of this love triangle with 2 other guys, and that ultimately interferes with her responsibilities and her duties and her role in the alpha coyote world. Kala has her flaws, and you learn about those throughout the whole trilogy, and the love triangle was a little annoying at some times, but for what it is, I did enjoy its part and its role in the novel. I think it was important, and it taught Kala a lot about herself and the world she's a part of and what she needs to do at times. So like I said, Kala has her flaws, and sometimes I wanted to slap her silly, but what can you do? She kind of makes some silly mistakes. And I mean, that's all a part of the book, is seeing her grow throughout the whole trilogy, and this one is kind of like the finale and seeing where she ends up. And I did enjoy the ending. It was very surprising and I did not expect it at all, and some things with the ending I didn't really like, but what can you do? The author's choice is the author's choice and you can't really help it. So I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5-ish. I would recommend the whole trilogy because I did enjoy it, and I feel like a lot of you would like this a lot. Even though they look like big books, honestly, I sat down with this one for 3 hours and finished the whole thing without getting up, and that says a lot about the pace of this book because it's non-stop, and I really did enjoy the pacing. I thought it was fantastic and really surprising how fast and how all these things played out, so I did really enjoy this last book. I'd say it's my favorite for sure, so definitely check this series out. I did enjoy it. It has its flaws, but those flaws develop the characters, the plot, and the whole idea, and it really works for the plot instead of working against it in some cases. I mean, Kala has her moments, but that's Kala. So definitely let me know if you've read this trilogy. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the whole series and the last book. And if you haven't read it, I suggest you do check it out because I really did enjoy this series and I'm glad I picked it up. Alright guys, so the second book I read in July was BZRK by Micheal Grant. And if you saw my review on this book that I posted a couple of weeks ago, then you know that the plot for this book is an intense, detail-oriented plot that takes a lot of explaining. So if you want to know exactly what it's about, I recommend you check out the review here and learn what it's about and see the whole idea of it because it's seriously brilliant and I would highly recommend it. I love this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I cannot say enough of it because I feel it's such a different aspect in the YA genre, and it's something different and fresh and very unique. While there is still a lot of main characters in this book, I feel like what is the strong point of this novel is the idea and the concept and the way it plays out. Don't get me wrong, the characters are awesome, but for me what I loved about this was the idea and the concept and the way it was executed. So yes, I love this book. I would recommend this to both male and female readers, but specifically male readers because I feel like they would absolutely love this book because there's so many aspects of this that is targeted for them, I believe. So both I feel like would love this. I loved it. I'm a girl, so it all depends on your opinions and your likes and dislikes. But Micheal Grant achieved another brilliant novel, and I was so thrilled with the way this turned out. Alright guys, so the third book I read in July was The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, and I had read this book for the first time over 3 years ago when it first came out. So for me, rereading this was an awesome experience because I was suddenly remembering all the great things that I loved about this book, and I had forgotten a lot. So if you guys haven't seen the review that I did for this book, I will link it right over here. And I did a review for this because the book club I'm a part of actually chose this book book for the month of July to read. So if you want more details on the book club, who's a part of it, and how I like this book and why it's so amazing, definitely check out the review because this book is amazing and it's such an awesome adventure. I'm so happy to have reread this whole series because it's phenomenal, and I just love Patrick Ness's writing and the way it all concludes. I'm so excited to see how it concludes because the series is phenomenal. I'm going to mention this now that I didn't mention in my last video, is that we're going to be reading a book called Serafina by Rachel Hartman for the month of August for the book club. If you guys want to check that out, get it and read it along with us. We're going to be doing our final reviews at the end of August, so stay tuned for that, and I'll let you guys know how I like the book. Alright guys, so the last book I'm going to talk about, and the last book I read in July, is The Ask and the Answer by Patrick Ness, and this is the sequel to The Knife of Never Letting Go, as well as the second book in the Chaos Walking trilogy. So again, with this book, I forgot pretty much everything about it, so rereading this book was like reading it for the first time. And honestly, it was an awesome experience, just remembering everything, and I could not be happier with the sequel. It was amazing and just as good, if not better, than the first book. So I gave this a 5 out of 5 too, because it's just an awesome sequel that just lived up to my expectations and actually just exceeded them as well. So for me, the sequel is phenomenal, and it just made me that much more excited to read the third book, which I am loving right now. So definitely check out this series for something new, exciting, and different, because I don't think it will let you down. It's awesome, it's exciting, and there's so many elements of it that will leave you shocked and surprised and completely stunned because they're so different and just so surprising and different than anything else out there right now. So definitely check it out. I loved it, loved the first book, and I'm loving the third book right now. Alright guys, so that was my video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you've read any of these books, or if you're planning to read any of these books, I would really love to hear your opinions or your expectations for them, and if you have any questions, I would love to hear those and answer them for you. So thank you for watching. If you have any requests for videos, definitely leave them in the comments. I will be doing my bookshelf tour very soon. I know you guys have been asking for that like crazy, and don't worry, it's going to be up in August. I don't know exactly when in August, but just know it will be up in August. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking the video, and watching all my videos. I appreciate it more than you guys can ever imagine, so thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!